Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about some player props I like on Prizepicks for the NBA slate on Wednesday, November the 2nd. We do have a big Wednesday slate, 10 games tonight, so there are a lot of props available to choose from. Recording this video about 12:40 Eastern time on Wednesday afternoon, so most of the board has been posted right now. Prizepicks is still adding some teams to the board, but we got a lot of props to choose from. I got 3 picks I'm going to share in this video, guys. So before we do talk through our 3 plays for today, as always, please hit that like button down below if you guys do enjoy these Prizepicks videos. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. Also, if you are new to Prizepicks, check them out. Sign up with promo code NOAH. When you do sign up with my promo code, you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. And I do want to recap our plays from Tuesday. Gave out 2 picks for the 4-game slate on Tuesday. Cashed out on both of our 2 picks. Andrew Wiggins, we took his over on fantasy score, 29.5. I think he finished with well over 29.5 fantasy points. I think he finished with like high 30s, maybe even 40. Then we took Bismack Biyombo over fantasy points. Wasn't looking good for Bismack Biyombo. He didn't really do much in the first half, but he had a really big second half. He was blocking a lot of shots, and I think he finished with like 25 fantasy points when we took his over 21.5. So hit both of our NBA plays on Tuesday. For the Monday Night Football game, we hit both of our plays for Monday Night Football. So we've been on a nice little run the last few days. Hopefully you guys have been tailing the picks, making some money. Let's try and, make some money tonight, guys. Let's try and hit all 3 of these plays. So we'll start off with the fantasy score category. Once again, I have some fantasy score props I like, and then we have a rebound prop that I like. But for fantasy score, we're going to go down to this Bulls and Hornets game. Talk about DeMar DeRozan, 40.5 fantasy points. I like the over here for DeMar DeRozan, and one of the big reasons I like this over is because, Zach LaVine is going to be out for the Bulls today. It's the second half of a back-to-back. LaVine played yesterday. He's not playing today. And without Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan does get a really big bump in usage. His fantasy production overall takes a big spike up. Last season, DeMar DeRozan played 1,234 minutes during the regular season without Zach LaVine on the floor. In that time, he had a 37.8% usage rate, and he averaged 1.3 fantasy points per minute. Per 36, he averaged 47 fantasy points per 36. I would think even on a back-to-back here, DeRozan probably plays 35, 36 minutes. That's usually what he plays in competitive games, and this should be a competitive game against Charlotte. Even looking at his numbers this season, he's played 169 minutes without Zach LaVine on the floor. His usage rate hasn't been as high, 31.3% usage rate, but he's still averaging 1.37 fantasy points per minute and 49.1 fantasy points per 36. He has already played 3 games this season without Zach LaVine. In those 3 games, he has put up 38.7, so he went just under this line against San Antonio, but take a look at his game log for that game. He had 33 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 1 steal. Obviously, DeRozan's a guy that averages like 5 rebounds and 4 assists per game. Him having 1 rebound and 1 assist in that game was just really outlier. But he came up just short that one game, but then he did have 48.2 fantasy points against the Wizards, 32 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. And then their season opener against Miami, Zach LaVine did not play in that game, and DeRozan had 65.7 fantasy points, 37 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. So he's historically done really well whenever Zach LaVine's been off the floor. It's a really good matchup against Charlotte. Last season, Charlotte was one of the fastest-paced teams in the league. I think so far this season, they've been a pretty fast-paced team. Defensively, they're not like the most, they're not the best defensive team either. I think this is definitely a spot DeRozan should have plenty of success. I think his usage is going to be really high without Zach LaVine. 40.5 fantasy points does feel too low here. I know you look at his last 5 games. He's gone under this in 5 straight, but literally that doesn't matter. We're talking about today. Today's a totally different day. Without Zach LaVine, DeRozan gets a nice big bump in usage. His production should see a bump as well. Him and Vooch are both in a good spot. It was a little odd to see Vooch and DeRozan have the same projection for today. Normally DeRozan's kind of got the upper hand. Like, I was surprised. I thought DeRozan would be at like 44, 45.5. So when I saw them at the same projection, that definitely made me want to take this over on DeMar DeRozan. 40.5 fantasy points. I think he can clear that today, and that's going to be our first pick for today's video. Then the next pick we're going to talk about is actually in the same game. Going to go to PJ Washington, 27.5 fantasy points. Also like the over here. Now, PJ Washington this season, he's kind of been inconsistent, but he has really been doing well his last 2 games. Obviously, you can see 42.9 fantasy points against the Warriors, 42.5 fantasy points against the Kings. His usage has not been like great this season. He's got a 22.6% usage rate, but he has been averaging 0.91 fantasy points per minute. So he's been averaging close to a fantasy point per minute this season. In his last 2 games, he's seen his minutes be really high, and I think that could be due to how well he's played. But he played 40 minutes against Golden State. I believe that was an overtime game, so he still played 35 minutes in regulation. And then in their last game against Sacramento, he played 36.5 minutes. Again, like, he's had some games where he's not really played many minutes. Some of those games have also been blowouts. Like against Orlando, he only played 22.5 minutes, but that was a blowout. Against Atlanta, he only played 22 minutes, but that was also a blowout, and I think he might have been in foul trouble. The games where he's played full minutes, so he played 37.5 minutes against the Knicks. He only had 25.5 fantasy points in that game, but their season opener against San Antonio, he played 30 minutes, and he had 39.4 fantasy points. And then obviously their last 2 games, 40 minutes and 36.5 minutes. If we're getting mid-30s minutes from PJ Washington, he should average close to a fantasy point per minute, and 27.5 fantasy points is definitely a line that he can go over. Obviously, still no LaMelo Ball for the Hornets. Terry Rozier is doubtful once again, so there's plenty of usage available for guys like PJ Washington, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre. And again, I think with how well PJ Washington has played the last few games, I think he's earned some big minutes. I think his minutes are going to be more secure. If he continues to take a lot of shots like he has been lately, I mean, the last 2 games he scored 28 and 31 points. He's been like their #1 guy on offense as of late. If that continues, I think PJ Washington has a very good chance to go over 27.5 fantasy points. So that's going to be the second play that we go with for today. And then the third and final pick, we're going to talk about a rebound prop. We're going to go down to Şengün, Alperen Şengün, 8.5 rebounds. I'm going to be taking the over here, and it pains me because when you look at the last 5 games, this prop has hit in 5 straight games. And for some reason, I don't know why this happens, but every time I take a pick that is hit in 5 straight games, it never hits the day I take it. So if Şengün doesn't get 9 rebounds today, you can all just blame me. But there's multiple reasons why I like this pick. For one, looking at DraftKings Sportsbook, their odds for this pick are very good. They have the over 8.5 rebounds on Şengün at -145. So with this prop being -145 on DK Sportsbook, there is a good chance that this does get bumped up to 9 at some point. I don't know if it will, but they might bump this up to 9 at some point. If it does get bumped up to 9, I don't think it's as good, just because I think there is a chance Şengün finishes with 9 rebounds, and at that point, you're just kind of playing for a push. But 8.5 rebounds, I think Şengün can go over this. I think he can get us 9 boards. Obviously, he's gone over this in 5 straight games. But what makes me really like this prop is since Şengün has been inserted into the starting lineup, he has started their last 3 games. His minutes have been up a little bit. He's averaged 28.1 minutes over their last 3 games. He's also led the team with 18 rebound chances per game over their last 3, and he's averaging 9.7 rebounds. So the rebound chances are definitely there. The next highest guy is Jabari Smith, who's averaging 10.3 rebound chances over their last 3 games since Şengün became a starter. Looking at just the season as a whole, even when you take a look at the whole season, he's still averaging 18 rebound chances per game during the whole season. Like, he's a guy that's going to grab rebounds when he's on the floor. His minutes have not been like super high this season. We saw last season Şengün was playing like 34, 35 minutes. They've kind of been keeping him at like 29 to 30. But even in 30 minutes, he's had 9 rebounds. In 25 minutes against Portland, he had 11 rebounds. He's had 9 rebounds in every single game this season, which, again, like, I don't know why, but for some reason, if a prop is hit in like 6 or 7 straight games, the day that I take it will be the day that it doesn't hit. So, again, if this Şengün prop doesn't hit, you guys can just blame me, I guess. But I think Şengün's got a good chance to grab 9 rebounds once again. He should play about 30 minutes. The rebound chances have been there. He's been averaging 18 rebound chances per game this season, which leads the team by a mile. He's always been a good rebounder. So 8.5 rebounds, good odds on this one. The rebound chances are there. I definitely like this play. Hopefully it hits, because if it doesn't, then I must be cursed or something. But it's hitting every single game this season. It's got good odds as well. So I'm going to be playing it for today. But these are going to be our 3 picks for today, guys. DeMar DeRozan, 40.5 fantasy points, taking the over there. 27.5 fantasy points for PJ Washington, also taking the over on that one. And then 8.5 rebounds for Alperen Şengün. Going to go over on that play as well. 3 picks for today. This is what I'm liking, kind of taking a first look at the board right now at the time I'm making this video. Later this afternoon, I will be going through the board again to see if I can find some more picks that I do like. And if I do find any more picks I like for today, I will always be sharing those over on Patreon. So if you guys want to check out the Patreon, it's linked down below in the description. You can get more Prizepicks plays from me over there. You can also get my DFS content for DraftKings and for Yahoo if you play NBA DFS or NFL DFS. Also, I do have a Discord chat you can join that is available for Patreon members. All that's linked down below in the description. Check that out if you are interested. But as always, best of luck on this slate, guys. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. hit that like button if you did, hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you haven't signed up for Prizepicks, sign up, use promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. But best of luck tonight, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed. Let's try and hit all 3 of these plays, win a little bit of money tonight. Best of luck. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.